Internet, I'm Chase Jarvis. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Creative. I didn't even fool you guys. Welcome to another episode of Daily Creative. This is the show that you know where I answer your questions on your journey to become an aspiring or maybe even a professional creator. You want a side hustle or full-time gig? I'm your guy. I'm answering your questions, and Finn over there, lounging on the couch, has got a couple questions queued up. Finn, let's bring it on.
Hey Chase, my name is Claudia. I'm a commercial turned wedding photographer based out in Toronto, and our social media handle is Wedding Editorial.
Wedding Editorial.
I've been shooting for about 15 years. I know you're a big proponent of personal style, shooting things that only you can shoot and see. Now, about 8 to 7 years ago, that was very true for me. Given my background as an editorial photographer, when I transitioned into weddings, that gave me a very unique approach and style.
Okay.
Now, fast forward about 8 years, I find that a lot of the stuff that used to set me apart is now kind of mainstream. I think it has to do with the access to information and education, to tools, and to equipment, which is all good. I think my question now is, moving forward, what do you think some of the next steps are for me? Should I continue doing what I've always been doing, even though I feel like it's getting lost in what everybody else is doing? Or do I go and develop and change my style into something that stands out a little more?
I really appreciate the question. I think you framed it in a really interesting and a cool way. You're very positive around the access to information, all that stuff, because that's on you. That's what I loved about Claudia's positioning. First and foremost is that she did not blame this on the market. The market does not care. The market doesn't care. How many times should I say it? The market does not care about your woes. So what I loved about her is she said, hey, look, I see this changing. What do I need to do to respond? Not like, woe is me. Everyone's got access to the same shit. This sucks. Great job, great attitude. That's going to get you far in life. Right out the gates. Nice. That's a checkbox in the positive column. Thank you, Claudia. Now, the second half of the answer, though, is... it's hard for me to say to you because it's very prescriptive. You have to keep growing. You have to keep growing and changing. There's a but. But you're not trying to change who you are here. It's like style. It's like I can change my hairstyle. I literally change my hairstyle from day to day. Sometimes I roll it short. Sometimes I comb it. Sometimes I don't comb it. Those, in theory, could be style, but I'm still me. At the core, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm doing what I believe in. I'm doing what I'm good at. I think you are confusing some of those things with, all right, maybe you're not, but I'm trying to prescribe to you, do not confuse those two things. One of the things that I believe deeply in is if you are who you are and you are doing your thing and you believe deeply in that thing and you're good at framing that thing, positioning that thing, marketing that thing, telling a story around that thing, I'm going to draw a thing. So I drew a very bad picture in the last episode of this, so I'm going to try. If this is your thing, you are going this direction down the road. Here's what the market does. The market does this. The market's over here, and it's thinking that that this sort of thing is cool, and then over here it's thinking it's this. And what happens here, this is where your business should go like this. You want it to keep growing, and then you hit these inflection points. Sometimes you can adjust, like if you see this thing coming over here, then sure, you can go to meet, you can tweak your core message a little bit to get to this spot a little bit earlier. But it's really important that you realize that if you are doing it right, that the market does come around. I'm just going to use CreativeLive as an example because I use my photography career as an example a lot. So I'm going to use CreativeLive as an example. CreativeLive started 7 years ago. Did I know that education, that creativity was going to be at an all-time high, B, that education, that online education was going to be this multi-hundred-billion-dollar opportunity? Did I know any of those things? No. What was I doing? I was following my instincts. My in here started talking about that stuff 7 years before. It was this cool, weird little channel that was for photographers. Now, Apple just launched Today at Apple, where they've got they've got education in stores around creativity, photography, design. You're seeing all kinds of traction and action in the space. Yes, it's now a very exciting time at CreativeLive. We've got 10 million students, we've got all this stuff. But 7 years ago, no one gave a shit. It was cool. It was focused specifically on the creative or the photography community at first. Now we've sort of grown it, but this is what the market did. I didn't change who I was. I wanted to help and participate and create community around creativity and learning and saying, it's cool to learn. I want to know how to do that. I want to get better at that. And the market has come to meet me. Sure, we may have tweaked some things here and there. That's called like tweaking your style, but those are different things. So what's the name of her site? Actually, let me go look at her site. Wedding editorials with an S. Yes. Yep. .com. All right. I'm going to see if I can slide this to you. I don't know, so can you see that? But all right. So, editorials for people in love, portraits on white. It's kind of interesting. I like it. Editorials, view our work, learn about us. I don't learn about you right now. We're just looking at the work. Yeah. So it's an editorially focused wedding photography business. It's like casual, and they're on the town. It's not so much the formal standing in a line. I get it. Is that a trend that is more mainstream now? Yes. My response in particular to your need is, if what you capture is moments, how can you continue to play on the peripheral? Play on the periphery of that concept. You do need to continually reinvent yourself, but do not walk away from who you are, what's meaning for you, what kind of work you do, how you differentiate yourself. But what is your angle? If you're not the way we talk about it, or the way I've heard it talked about, is what trains are leaving the station. You've got a core business, but you always want to be sending new shoots out, not shoots like S-H-O-O-T-S, like C-H-U-T-E. Is that right? Shoots, like plant shoots? Yeah. But you always want to be sort of planting seeds and growing different seeds at all times. So maybe you're expanding the business, the same thing. Are people doing that with video? Are people doing lifestyle-oriented editorial video? I don't see that as much. Again, I'm not in the wedding and portrait photography world, so I don't know. But that's an extension of your current thing, who you are and what your unique vision is. But reminder, like, maybe you go do this video thing. This is you go over here and you do this. Now you're expanding your services, going to do video. And if you did this like 2 years ago, it's all about photos. And now, boom, you hit the market again because you moved into video before anybody else did. And are you providing your customers with little 20, 30 second or 14 second, 15 second Instagram clips or 1 minute things for their social feed? Are you providing that? I don't see that. I don't see that out there. I mean, again, I'm not in your industry, but you get the point. So do not change who you are. Continuously evolving your style is important. I think also leveraging, trying to see around the corner before others do, and experimenting around there, that's a great way to grow your business and stay super relevant. So, but let the market come to you, unless you're way off. And if you have bad style, bad taste, you clearly don't. I think you're in a good spot. But there you go. Thank you, Claudia. I appreciate that question. Hope you feel like you got satisfied with that answer. Next, Finn. John? All right. I want to hear from John.
Hey, Chase. My name is John Jorgensen at John Jorgensen on Instagram, JONJORGENSON. Thank you so much for the Daily Creative. I'm getting so much out of the first few episodes. I can't wait to see what you'll continue to do. My question is, I am a spoken word poet, mainly performing in the Christian church realm, conferences, youth groups, Sunday services, things like that.
Great.
Concerts. And
thank you, John.
I'm getting to a point where I'm sort of hitting my capacity with just working and booking through myself, and I'm looking at possibly taking on a manager or an agent or a speaking bureau, that sort of thing. I'm wondering what advice you might have as far as taking on representation. What factors go into the timing of that, and so forth. You get it. Thanks so much, man. Really love your show. Keep being awesome.
Very good question. That's me. Happy. I like this question because I felt like you approached it with a little humility. And so there's two parts to an answer. One is specifically addressed to you, John, and the other is to the public at large who are listening or watching this episode, because I think you might be in a little bit of a special spot, and it's different than most. Most people that I take this question from, they want an agent or a manager long before they need one. And here's the deal. Agents make money based on the work that you get. So yes, they can help you get the work, but most agents are not going to take a flyer on someone who's new and up and coming and just figuring it out. They want people who are busy as shit and can't run their own business because they've got a unique angle, a great vision, and they're saying like, I can capture some of that talent, I can sell it to my network. So what I see over and over again is like, I don't have any work. It's like the needy person, like, I don't have any work, can you please help me, please? They're clawing, like, and agents or managers run from that like, it's like the $1 Million Man. Like they can't get away from you fast enough. So it sounds like, and so if you're in that camp, you're like, should I get one? And I'm just starting out. No is the answer. You need to be so busy, have your personal style, have a portfolio, be busy as shit, and then probably put yourself in the circle of, you're following these people on Instagram, are you going to the meetups, are you attending trade shows where these people are they in your circle, how can you get close to them? Because if you're close to them and they're seeing your work and they're going, huh, this is an up and comer, I might be able to jump on that train and make some money for both of us, create a new great business or grow this business. But it sounds like, John, you might be in a little different position because it said you're so busy that you're having problems, A, booking this stuff, B, sounds like commanding the kind of fees, and you're wondering about a speaking bureau. I think you might be up for it. I don't know how busy you think you are. I don't know what the actual, like, are you speaking once a week, once a month, twice a month? I don't know if you're speaking for $100 or $10,000 or $50,000. So you need to, I think, take some introspection, be self-aware, and figure out like, am I lying to myself about how busy I am, or am I really busy such that someone else would like to join forces? I would like you to be very critical with who you hitch your wagon to. This is like an interview process. It's like picking a partner. You're going to give them a chunk of the business. X% of your speaking fees are going to go directly into their pocket. So you have to like these people. It's not just a person with a face and a Rolodex. You have to like them. You're, in a sense, getting married. They are going to carry your message for you. They are going to market you. They are your representative. And if you're not having fun, if you're not able to connect with these people, if they're not great at your job, if they're not better than you are at your job, you need to think twice. So, go back to my earlier point, it sounds like you're busy enough. Are you then in the circle? Because if you cold call these people, looks bad. You need them coming to you. So what do you have to do? You have to be in the right space. It's sort of like, I have friends that want to date people, but they stay in their basement all the time and they don't get out. They don't do online dating. They don't go out to bars. They don't go meet people. They don't go to dinner parties. It's going to be very hard for you to date if you can't like interact with these people. So my question for you, John Sonson? Jorgensen. All right, Scandinavian. I got a little Scandinavian in me as well. What are you doing now to be in those circles? Are you, again, cold calling agents? You need to get discovered, but you have to be reasonably coy, put yourself in a position to get discovered, get out of your basement, go to these things, be around these things. And by these things, I mean the other 50%, which it's a great video. I'm gonna erase this here from a previous episode. The other 50%. This is a video that I did not too long ago. It's very popular. It's very popular for a reason. Can you get a good shot of that? The reason it's popular is because only 50% of the people that I know actually do it, and it's the other 50% of the work. So 25% of the people are actually 50% of 50%. I did pretty good. I got, what is that? I got 790 on the GRE math. That was 20 years ago. But there's not very many people who actually... 20 years ago. It was, you be quiet over there, Finn McKenty. Ultimately, most people don't believe, they believe that once they put their work out there, there's a whole marketing aspect that's just going to happen. You have to do, there's a whole half of the work that is you actively pursuing other people or putting yourself in a position to win. Watch that video. Great question, John. Thank you very much for calling in the Daily Creative. And I think there's a lot of folks out there. Listen to the first part of the answer. If you missed it, go back and rewind, because that is the position that most people from whom I field that question are in. And you need to approach it a little bit differently. But John, thanks a lot for calling in. Is that it? That's it for this episode. I'm Chase Jarvis. I want to say thanks again for calling into the Daily Creative. This is the show where I answer your questions about how to become or win or get better on your path to becoming an aspiring or maybe even a professional creator. 802-962-4357. I will listen to these voicemails. There's a lot of them coming in. I really appreciate it. If you want your question answered, please make that phone call today. Subscribe, like, Dear God, participate in the discussion below. That's one of my favorite things. And I rarely ask you to share this, but there are people in your world I think you could pass value onto them. That's a nice thing in the social chain today. Add value to others. Share this content. That was weird. Bye.